Welcome to this light Goddess Yin yoga class practice. Today we're working with the goddess Athena's energy. The intention here is to invite a sense of clear inner knowing. So we are going to be working with three main meridian lines: the liver, the kidney, and the gallbladder. The liver is associated with vision, direction, and seeing the long-term arc. The kidney is associated with deep wisdom, inner knowing, and calm clarity, while the gallbladder is associated with discernment, decisions, and strategies. Each of these shapes that we take on the mat has a different meridian that they're associated with, and I will, of course, share them as we are in them. And yes, of course, if you have a different intention that you would like to bring to your mat today, then by all means, please do. When I created this practice, I shuffled the cards and Athena came forward. So she is the goddess that wanted to participate in today's class, and so it is. You don't need any props, although if you want them for Sphinx pose or pigeon pose or even child's pose, you're more than welcome to. Sometimes it's handy to have a bolster or a cushion from your couch or throw pillows from your couch. Also, maybe a blanket, meditation blanket if you've got one, or any blanket really can be useful. Of course, you don't need any at all. We do not have any journal prompts. We don't have anything. This is not the deep goddess that you might be used to from me. So it is about a 20-minute class roughly, and that's all I got for the intro. So I'll see you on your mat. Welcome. We'll begin today in Sphinx pose. So finding your way all the way down onto your belly. This pose can feel interesting on the low back for some. If it's very tender, you can walk the elbows out further away, and that will take out some of the intensity. Additionally, you can keep the legs further away from each other or closer in, depending on what feels good to you. Of course, the closer the elbows are in towards you, the further up you're going to be, the more of an inversion you're going to feel on the low back. If you want a little extra support, this is where a little cushion up under the ribs can come in handy if you like that. Otherwise, forearms are just going to rest right under the shoulders, essentially. Shoulders are away from the ears, so just bearing in mind that we're not hunched up. You can allow the head to fall back if you'd like. And we're getting into the kidney meridian here, kidney meridian line. The kidney meridian line is associated with the water element. Inviting in clarity into the body. Good. If for the last minute, if you're on your forearms and you'd like to, if you're not using any bolster or anything and you'd like to bring the forearms up, you can. Maybe just notice what that feels like for you in seal pose. You don't have to. Again, yin is never about force or doing things that don't feel good. So if it doesn't feel good, please don't do it. Listen to your body. You know your body much better than I know it. So please listen to yourself. Just breathing into that place of clarity here. Good. If you're up on in your seal pose here, you'll go ahead and take a deep breath in with me and then exhale, slowly come down. If you need to move any props out of the way, please do. And we'll bring the hands right near the chest area. Slowly start to peel the torso up off the mat, and we'll send the hips back, bring the big toes together behind, find your way into child's pose. Now, you may decide here that you'd like a little support behind the knees, in which case you can roll up a blanket. You can place a blanket here behind the legs. That can take off some of the pressure. You can place a blanket underneath the knees if your knees are sensitive. Otherwise, you're going to just fold right down the center line here. You can put two fists, stack two fists on top of one another to rest your forehead, or stack the hands to rest the forehead. But we're getting into the liver meridian line here. And the liver meridian line is associated with the wood element. And in this pose, I just invite you to breathe into the space behind your thoughts. Perfect. Take a deep breath in together. Exhale. Gently start walking the hands back toward the knees. Maybe bring the knees together. And we'll find our way into a tabletop pose for just a couple of breaths. Maybe do some cat-cow stretches here. So, you know, just little movements here, nothing too crazy. We're going to walk the hands out about a palm length in front. Keep the core active, so pelvic floor lifts. We'll extend out through the right leg. And then exhale, bring the right leg up so it ends up behind the hands here. Right knee behind right wrist, right foot behind left wrist. Here we are in Swan, as it's known in Yin, or Pigeon, as it's known in more Vinyasa style classes. You might want a little extra support behind the hip, or you can simply bring the left foot in closer toward the right foot in closer toward the left hip crease, and that will help take out some of that intensity. From here, take a deep breath in as you kind of allow that chest to shine forward, and then exhale, slowly fold over the top of the leg if that feels good. I'm getting into the gallbladder meridian. Gallbladder also associated with the wood element. Just let the mind soften into understanding. So if you are in Sleeping Swan, I invite you to take a deep breath in and then gently start walking yourself back up. And I'm going to give you the option here. You can either tuck the toes on the left foot and send the right leg back and find yourself in a down dog, or you can just put a bend in the left knee and send the right leg back and find yourself more in a tabletop pose. Do any form of cat-cows here, or maybe you want to just do some like hip circles. Really, we're just focusing on bringing the blood flow back down into the foot and the ankle. You might want to extend that right leg out, just kind of give a little reprieve to that hip flexor. It's a pretty intense stretch. So if you are in a downward facing dog, I invite you to come back down into this tabletop pose, or this variation of tabletop. So we have tabletop here where our wrists are directly under shoulders, and then we kind of walk the hands out about a palm length in front. The core is active, so pelvic floor lifts. Navel draws in toward the spine. We'll extend out now through the left leg, and then bring the left leg up behind the hands. And now we are in Swan on the opposite side. So check in here with yourself. It might be a different story for you on this side, okay? Sometimes the tendency is to do the exact same thing we did on one side, doing it on the other. So just take note. Maybe it's different here, you know? Find what works for you. We'll be here for 3 minutes. letting the mind soften into understanding. And working with that sense of clear inner knowing. Good, let's take one more deep breath in together. And we'll exhale and bring yourself up. Lean over to the left. Bring the right leg out in front. Shake out the legs. And I invite you to pause the video here. Do any other kind of movement that you need to do. And I'll meet you in Shavasana. So once you have found your Shavasana of choice, I invite you to take just a couple of deep breaths in. So deep breath in through the nose. And then exhale, sigh out through the mouth. Again, deep breath in through the nose. Sigh out through the mouth. One more time, deep breath in through the nose. Sigh out through the mouth. Just letting the body settle here. And just noticing the effects of your practice. And understanding that the wisdom of the body will arise in its own timing. Nothing to do from here, but be. I invite you to stay in Shavasana for as long as you would like. And whenever you come out of your Shavasana, please take your time. Shooting right up out of this pose can startle the nervous system and put you back in fight or flight. So you really want to make sure that you take your time coming out of this posture, out of this shape. Thank you for practicing with me today. May the benefits of today's practice stay with you long after today is over. Namaste.